I jaunt, they'll switch off the life support system.
Have you decided to cooperate?
What do you want?
Nothing very much. Just get dressed and come with us, then I'll explain. You don't have to, of course. The choice is yours. But if you don't...
You'll murder them.
Chris!
Oh, I got here as fast as I could. What's up,
Thank
Tim?
goodness you were able to come. You were my only hope.
Oh, a friend in need is a friend indeed. What's up?
It's John. The jaunting pad. Quick!
No pulse? Nothing. He's not dead, is he, Tim?
That device beside him. Press it against his wrist.
Sure. What's been happening here, Tim?
I will give you the details later, Chris.
He's coming round. Hey, John, you all right, old son?
Chris, how did you get here?
Out of the flat sky, as far as you were concerned, you were nearly a goner.
I must have been unconscious.
Well, if you call having no pulse and not breathing being unconscious, all right. You look more like dead to me.
I'm very impressed. Over what distance can you make that work?
A few feet, that's all. It's our weakest talent.
You're not holding out on me, are you?
She's holding out on me, Colonel. There's a permanent barrier up in her mind, and I can't get through it.
If you're not holding out on us, why are you shutting Tricia out of your mind?
Would you like someone delving into your private thoughts?
That's not the point. Open your mind to her.
She won't like it. Be like plugging a battery-operated toy into the electricity mains.
Tricia?
Oh, she's bluffing.
All right. Have it your way.
Oh, no, make her stop. Oh, please, make her stop.
Tim? Tim?
Don't worry, Elizabeth. Chris is here. John is okay.
Are you all right?
Yes. Yes, I'll be all right in a minute. The power was overwhelming.
I was only joking. A kidnapping, now that is a crime. Seems to me this Colonel Masters is the real criminal in the case. Who's he working for?
Colonel Masters, Chris, is an officer of the Secret Intelligence Service who are responsible for unusual aspects of military intelligence work.
Oh, dear. Are you not getting a call-up papers, then?
That's not very likely, Chris. It's not how these particular officers and gentlemen operate. In fact, one thing's certain, they're no gentlemen.
So, what are we going to do?
Well, we've got to get Stephen, Elizabeth, and this boy Tyso out of their clutches.
Huh. You and me against not just an army, but the army, huh? Okay. But it's not going to be easy.
Well, anyway, there's one thing to be thankful for. They don't know about the lab yet, or where it is.
Yes, but they do know about you. And I reckon things will be pretty hot for you lot from now on.
Things can't get much hotter than they are already, Chris.
Don't try anything like that again.
Then don't ask me to.
Elizabeth, I don't like using thoughts and threats on you.
Then don't do it.
But can't you see how important it is for Britain to keep ahead of our potential enemies in ESP research?
I assure you, Colonel Masters, that if there are tomorrow people in China, Russia, or anywhere else, they'll feel the same way as we do. They won't help the military madmen.
Those are totalitarian countries. They won't have any choice. Look, you want peace, and so do I. That's why I believe there has to be a balance of power.
Don't you mean a balance of terror?
Call it that, if you will. Can't you see that your powers, properly used, could probably make war impossible?
If we could use our powers to stop war, we would.
But you can. Your powers, your abilities, could be the weapon to put an end to war.
You still see it in terms of a weapon, don't you? Well, people thought that about dynamite, about the machine gun and poison gas. They thought it about the aeroplane and the atom bomb. It was even thought that the old English longbow would put an end to war after the carnage it caused at the Battle of Agincourt. Well, there've been a few wars since Agincourt, haven't there, Colonel?
But this doesn't happen to be Agincourt, does it? This is here and now. And it's Tyso and Stephen's lives which are at stake, remember.
The trouble with you tomorrow, people, is you're like someone who's got one special judo trick and you keep on using it the same way over and over again.
Well, how do you mean, Chris?
Well, you're planning to go barging back in there, well, jaunting back in there with stun guns blazing and me with a matter transporter, right?
You don't have to come if you don't want to, Chris. I'm grateful for what you've done already.
No, that's not the point. You're going at it like a bull at a gate. You want to use a bit of subtlety.
We have the element of surprise.
No, you won't. Jaunting's an old trick to them. They've seen it before. They know you can do it. They'll be waiting for you.
What do you suggest?
Well, something different, using all the advantages we've got, but the unexpected. Like if... Oh, what's the use? I know you wouldn't approve.
Oh, come on, try me.
All right. You know what they say, if ever you want anything done, always go to the top.
Yes?
Mm-hmm. So, who is this Colonel's boss?
Oh, I don't know. Some general, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
You don't expect him to be of any help, do you? They're all tarred with the same brush.
And who's this General's boss?
Field Marshal? Look, Chris, where's all this leading?
And above him the war, what's it? They call it the
Ministry of
Ministry?
Defence, yes.
But who gives them their orders?
I don't know. Well, of course I do. It's Parliament.
And who's the head of Parliament?
The Prime Minister?
That's him! That's the Prime Minister!
Be careful with that gear change. This car's a valuable collector's piece.
I know. While I was waiting for you outside the Hilton, I took a 50-quid deposit on it from a Yank. What? Not really. I'm not daft, you know. Well, I suppose we'd better get on with it.
Yeah. I don't like it. It makes us as bad as they are.
Now, don't forget, if there's any nasty work to do, I'll do it.
Yeah, all right. Now, let's see. Matter transporter fixed onto a belt and set for the lab. Now, just get the range. Jaunting into a moving vehicle is difficult enough. Jaunting between two is darn near impossible.
I can stop if you like.
No, just keep your speed steady. What every well-dressed Prime Minister's wearing these days? Right.
When you disappear, what happens to you?
We reappear somewhere else. But I think you've already observed that happening.
Yes.
You mean one moment you could be here, and the next you could be, say, 5,000 miles away?
Yes. What did you think we did?
I don't really know. Became invisible, walked out of the room, something like that. It's so hard to believe that you could be here one minute and, say, in the Kremlin the next.
Yes, I could, but I can think of no reason to go there.
Oh, I can think of a million reasons to go there. The KGB won't know what's hit them.
Yes, you're right, they won't, because nothing is going to hit them.
How long does it take you to jaunt from one place to another? I mean, say, for argument's sake, to Moscow.
For argument's sake, a few fractions of a second.
As quick as that?
Yes.
Well done, John. Everything has gone according to plan. Chris will be with you shortly.
But how did you bring me here?
Well, let's just say superior technology, Prime Minister.
But why did you kidnap me?
Have you ever heard of the Telepathy Research Unit at Holton? It's part of the Ministry of Defence Secret Intelligence Service. It's run by a certain Colonel Masters.
No, but then they don't tell me much about defense secrets.
It researches into extrasensory perception.
Oh, that's superstitious mumbo-jumbo. I'm surprised the Ministry of Defence wasting their time on that.
Not as wasteful as you might think, Prime Minister.
I see. And so you've laid on this little demonstration of your ability. It's very impressive. I must put a word into the right ear so that this Colonel Masters can be made to sit up and take notice. Can I go now, please? I've got several other things to do.
It's not as simple as that, Prime Minister. This Colonel Masters has got 3 of my friends, and he's holding them against their will.
And you want to arrange some sort of swap?
That's the general idea, yes.
All right, then.
Hold it! Right there.
What's that? A ray gun?
Yeah, a Martian death ray.
Yeah, well, it is a ray gun, but not a Martian one. You must forgive us for being jumpy, Prime Minister. What was that you were about to take out of your pocket?
It's just a card with the phone number. I gather you intend to bargain for my life. Well, this contingency has been foreseen and plans laid. The telephone number for you to ring is one of them.
Thank you. Yeah, this will be a help. At least they'll know we're serious.
Phone that number and they'll know that you've got me.
You said you could jaunt as far as Moscow and back.
I won't spy for you.
My dear girl, nothing could be further from my thoughts. However, you have agreed to allow us to put your abilities to the test. So I have prepared a little test for you.
What test?
Oh, it's quite simple. I want you to jaunt to Moscow. There you will go to the in-tourist souvenir shop in Kavaska Square, where you will buy a Russian doll, like this one. You'll bring it back here with the receipt.
All right. There's no harm in that, I suppose.
Don't trust her, Colonel. Her mind's still closed to me.
Would you like me to open it up again?
I think we can trust Elizabeth. After all, she knows what's at stake. Sergeant! Sergeant Adams will take you and provide you with warm clothing, some Russian currency, and a tourist visa. How long will this mission take?
15 minutes. I need that time to set the coordinates.
Fine. Bring her back here as soon as she's ready.
You let her out of that door, and that'll be the last you see of her.
Not while we hold her friends.
Well, even so, I do think you're taking a big risk.
It'll be worth it. Our agent in the souvenir shop will sell her a very special doll. One that contains something we've been trying to get out of Russia for weeks.
You'd trust her with a mission like that?
Who better than an innocent tourist? Unknown to the KGB or even to our own intelligence service. Someone who can vanish into thin air.
Ah, Prime Minister, I've made that telephone call.
But how? I didn't hear you.
I have my methods. We hope to have you back to your affairs of state as soon as possible.
What happens if they don't want him back?
Chris, don't be ridiculous.
I regret that your friend's suggestion may not be as ridiculous as you seem to think. The question as to whether or not to comply with your demands and secure my release has to be taken, as it happens, by the one man who stands to gain most by my death.
Let me put your mind at rest about one thing, Prime Minister. We're not going to kill you, no matter what happens to our friends or to us.
Now, what do you want to go and tell him that for?
Because it's the truth. Because perhaps he ought to know we're incapable of killing even to save ourselves.
What are you? I mean, your technology must be way ahead of anything in Russia or America. Who are you working for?
Our intention is not to work for any one power. We'd like to do our best for the world as a whole.
Are you from another planet? I know it sounds absurd, but there isn't any other explanation I can think of.
No, we're human, born on Earth. We do have contact with beings from other planets, and they do help us occasionally with advice and assistance. What we are is the next stage of human evolution. We call ourselves the Tomorrow People.
And you told me that you can't kill.
No, they can't, but I can, mate.
Just a minute.
No, I want my say. This is the first and probably the last chance I'll get. You've got to stop your military thugs from persecuting these Tomorrow People. Prime Minister, they can't get involved in war or let themselves be used as secret weapons. They have superpowers, yeah, and they can do marvelous things, right, but not for war. They are the best hope the world has got for peace. I'm sorry, but that's what I think.
And you're not one of them.
No, I'm just a plain old Homo sapien just like you. I could kill you, but they can't. They are different, you see.
I am beginning to see.
Liz, how did you get away?
What's the Prime Minister doing here?
Well, it was part of our plan to help you and the others escape, but
I
now
haven't
you're
got
here.
much time. Colonel Masters sent me to Moscow to buy him this from a souvenir shop.
Oh, why did you go?
Well, I had to, otherwise they would have switched off the machines that are keeping Stephen and Tyso alive.
Let me see it.
It's just a nesting doll. He wanted some proof that I could jaunt to Moscow and back. He gave me 15 minutes for the trip. I've only got a few minutes to spare. Give it to me, John. I've got to get back.
Just a minute, Liz.
John, they're just little dolls. One fits inside the other.
Common little nesting doll, eh?
Well, what is that?
I found it inside your souvenir. Analyze it, please, Tim.
What's that?
That's our computer, Tim, Prime Minister. Listen.
It is a crude hypnotronic implant, inserted by a surgeon into a person's skull. It could monitor their thoughts and control their actions.
But that's horrific.
Heaven help mankind. He tricked me. He told me there was no espionage involved.
He must have been trying to smuggle this little nasty out of Moscow for weeks. Destroy it, please, Tim.
Destroying this one will not destroy all the others that may exist inside Russia.
May I see it, please?
Yes.
I heard that voice say that this little device can be used to monitor people's thoughts and control their actions. The world will be better off without such things. And certainly this country has no need of them. Now, I think you better hurry back, my dear, before your time runs out.
"13 minutes, that's very good. No problems?
No.
Is it cold in Moscow?
Yes.
Are you sure you went to Moscow and to the shop I told you to?
Yes.
The in-tourist souvenir shop in Kavkaz Square?
Yes, I have a receipt if you don't believe me. Why, something wrong?
Yes, there is. As I think you know full well. What happened to the thing that was contained within those dolls?
What thing?
Corporal Bailey. Stand by and await my instructions. Now, are you going to tell me what you've done with the thing that was hidden in those dolls?
You said there was no espionage involved.
Well, I lied, didn't I? Now, come on, hand it over.
I can't. It no longer exists.
What's happened to it?
Wouldn't you be surprised if you knew?
Corporal, in 10 seconds, I want you to switch off the life support systems. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4,
Yes, who is?
3.
All right, I'll tell you.
Hold it.
Colonel, it's the telephone.
Later.
But it's the GOC, sir. He must speak to you right away.
Wait my instructions, Corporal. Colonel Masters? Yes, sir. Well, no, sir, but I... Well, yes. I see. Very well, sir. And it seems your friends have brought pressure to bear in high places. And to let you go. All of you.
I can't say that I'm sorry.
In every contest, there has to be a winner and a loser. And I'm sorry we didn't succeed with you. Someday you may come round to my way of thinking. Our democracy is threatened, and I believe it to be the duty of everyone to defend it. Tricia, you'd better go and wake up our friends.
Thank you. It's all right, John. He's letting us all go.
Glad to hear it, Elizabeth. Make sure Professor Corsten's released as well. I'll bring a matter transporter for him.
Oh, Prime Minister, I've just been in telepathic communication with Elizabeth. Looks as though your short stay with us is over. We'll soon have you back to your affairs of state.
I'm very glad to have had this chance of meeting you. I'm glad, too, that you seem to have come out on top. If ever you should need my help...
That's very kind of you. You never know, we might take you up on that one day.
Good.
Chris will take you back using the matter transporter.
Gosh, you were quick.
Quick. Have you any idea how long you've been under?
A long time.
A long time.
Where is this place? Where am I?
Later, Stephen.
Professor! They're calling me, Professor, they're calling me!
It's all right, Tyso. It's all right, I'm sorry.
My head's ringing. Noises. Faces I can
Looks
feel.
like he's getting near the final stages of breaking out. If we get him back to the lab, he'll be all right.
Well, let us.
I can't stop you, Professor.
Stephen, enjoy a little rest.
John, what's going on?
But later, let's get out of here as soon as we can, shall we? I've got your jaunting belt. Professor!
Hello, John.
Put this belt on, will you?
What is it?
A matter transporter.
Oh, good.
I've got a jaunting belt for Tyso.
No!
It's all right, Tyso. It's all right. I'll put the belt on. That's it.
Right, let's go.
Yeah.
Hello, Chris. Where did you spring from?
Well, I heard you were having a spot of bother, so I thought I'd come and give you a hand. I saw that our guest got back to where he belongs using the matter transporter, as you said.
Well done, Chris.
Hey, who's this?
Oh, Professor Colston. Professor, this is Chris Hardy.
How do you do?
Hi, Chris.
Welcome, Professor Corsten.
That's a voice I heard on the telephone.
Ah, yes, Professor. May I introduce you to our computer, Tim?
Hello, Tim.
Professor?
Oh, where's Tyso?
I activated his jaunting belt under remote control, but
Oh, where is he? What's happened to him?
he is still at the research center. He didn't manage to jaunt. He can't jaunt yet.
Of course, he's still breaking out. Well, the process isn't quite complete. I've got to go back for him.
I'd like to come with you, if I may.
Good idea. Chris, give me your matter transporter. Tyso, link your mind with mine.
Stop it, for God's sake.
Well, Professor, have you realized you're witnessing something unique? A tomorrow person actually breaking out.
Not just a tomorrow person, John. One that I found.
What do you mean you knew he was a tomorrow person?
Yes, Miss Conway, I did.
Professor, would you mind taking Tyso back to the lab?
No, of course not.
Tim,
Come on.
will you jaunt the Professor and Tyso back, please?
Certainly, John.
I heard two voices that time.
I meant you to.
Why?
Because I want you to know about us, Tricia. To think about us. Because somewhere, back in your childhood, you too were a potential tomorrow person. But unlike Tyso, unlike us, you didn't follow it through. But it's not too late. It's not too late.